Is there a problem?
Honestly feel threatened by this courtroom while I was being attempted murder by Harris County.
Have you no PTI?
No PTI.
She knows about it, right?
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Good morning, Ms. Hutcherson. It's Hutcherson. So you no interest in doing the PTI program?
She's currently in the PTI program. She's terminated.
Oh, she was removed? Oh.
I didn't have a.
Got it. No, yeah, too late. Okay, so Ms. Hutcherson, you've worked out an agreement where they're offering you 3 days in jail, credit for the 1 day that you've done. You need to understand, ma'am, yeah, I just see that it was removed. You need to understand that this DWI will go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. You need to understand that if you ever get pulled over, an officer is going to look at your history. They're going to see this DWI. If you smell like alcohol or dope, it's not going to go well. You know, the other thing, what we're doing today, it's not going to, I mean, you're looking at a minimum of 30 days in jail from now on for whatever you pick up. So no more proverbial slaps on the wrist. You understand? You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses, testify on behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, it will stay on your record. You can never take it off. This is what you want to do. How do you plead to the offense, ma'am? Guilty or not guilty? I will find you guilty. I will send you to the agreement. What do you do for a living, ma'am?
I work as a receptionist.
And how much money do you make?
I bring home
I want you to understand something, ma'am, that, you know, DWI is big business. There's a $3,000 surcharge that usually is tacked on when you pick up a DWI. And when you get a second DWI, it's a $6,000 surcharge. And if you don't pay it, you go to jail for every $100 that you owe. Do you understand? I will waive your fees now. It's next time, it's around $7,000 you're going to be walking out. So if you want to get lit, just don't get into a car. $20 a button will take you anywhere you want to go. All right. Good luck.
Thank you, Judge.
Run it. Oh, I have to suspend your license. I'm suspending it for 180 days.
When we were here last time, you ordered her to have the interlock installed on her vehicle. She is not driving the vehicle. It's not drivable. We just need to switch her to a portable.
Oh, no.
And a no drive.
She has nothing. And it doesn't matter. We ordered you to have an interlock in a car. You haven't done anything and you're without any kind of devices whatsoever, right?
That was totaled and it's at my house right now. But I'm in a rental car that I'm not driving. So I don't have a car to put it in.
So you have no device.
That's correct.
You're not being monitored.
That's correct.
This is not a good thing, Ms. Lynch, because I ordered you to have a device. And from what I understand here, you never even went and got it.
Just because she doesn't have a vehicle to put it on.
But you come back and you say, hey, Judge, I don't have a vehicle. I need to do something else. You just don't, out of sight, out of mind. That's not the way things work.
Judge, for that violation as well, we instructed her in court and sent a message for her to report to 49 following court to get further instruction over everything so that we could figure out things from there, and she never reported.
Stephen. Ms. Lynch, you haven't done anything. They've literally bent over backwards to help you and do stuff, and you haven't done anything.
I wanted to come in today.
The only reason you're here today is because I ordered you here
Yes,
today.
sir. Yes, sir.
She goes with you.
Yes, sir.
Emailed, texted, call, nothing, you know?
I understand. Would you consider setting her a new bond or
Of
default?
course, 5,001. And then, you know, if she's unable to, then what's today, Friday, Monday, then we can talk. Okay?
It makes you stop.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks. Ms. Simmons Irvin, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, you're charged with interference with the duties of a public servant. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. If you cannot afford a lawyer will be appointed to represent you, ma'am. Okay.
On November 14th, 2024, officers were dispatched to a trespasser call at a business in Harris County, Texas. The officers made contact with a witness who stated the defendant was asked to leave the business but was refusing to leave. The officer walked over to the defendant and tried to inform her that if she refused to leave, she would be considered trespassing. The defendant would not listen and did not want to leave. The officer attempted to detain the defendant and place her in handcuffs, but the defendant kept pulling away, refusing to give the officer her hands. The defendant also braced her legs on the ground to prevent the officer from removing her, and the officer had to use a reasonable amount of force to place the defendant in handcuffs and remove her. The defendant braced her legs against the seat and door and prevented the officer from properly detaining her in the marked unit. And once in the unit, the defendant grabbed and pulled the officer's shirt, trying to pull herself out of the unit.
Okay, what store is this that she was in?
I have the address. I'll look to see if they have a store name listed.
Your Honor, ma'am, if I may speak.
Now's not the time. I mean, I've got a bunch of DAs here. Anything that you say, they're going to use it against you to prove guilt. You'll get the opportunity, I promise. Just now's not that time. How old are you, ma'am?
I'm 30 years old.
What do you do for a living?
I don't have a job. I'm disabled.
What's the nature of your disability?
I got cardiac web, a hematoma, deteriorating spine, hole in my heart, pulled over ligaments, bilateral kidneys, asthma, cancer.
How do you support yourself?
Currently at this moment, I'm supposed to be receiving, I got my Social Security claim number, but they refused to give me my award letter. And also, I was currently supposed to be residing at Vermilion Apartments, and my contract, I guess, was
I want to
switched.
talk about the case. I just want to know how do you eat? How do you get money?
I don't.
I need you to fill out an application for me, and then I'll take a look to see if you qualify. As a condition of your bond, don't go back to this place.
It appears to be a housing facility.
Okay, do not go back to this place, ma'am.
So I can't go back to Houston Housing Authority.
Whatever this place where they were trying to trespass you from, don't go back, ma'am. I'll provide you a lawyer today and we'll talk about how we go forward, but I don't want it to be more bad blood and I don't want you to go back to jail. If you go back, they don't want you there.
That's police brutality.
There's got to be some other reasonable way that we can work things out, and we'll try. But you got to give it time, let things cool down. If you go right back after this issue now, you're begging for trouble.
Well, my contract is supposed to be terminated on 11/30th, meaning I still have an active contract. So what am I supposed to be doing about that in regards to that? I mean, I have my paperwork to prove
I
it.
can't give you legal advice, but we'll have you talk to a lawyer and figure out how we go forward. Okay? For the time being, don't go back though,
Okay.
please, because it's only begging for bad blood. Okay? Yeah, so I need you to fill out an application for me. I'll have you sign a receipt of Victoria, and then we'll just have you take a seat while we find your lawyer. Okay? Please.
Flores.
Invoke my constitutional and amendment rights as well as my civil and civil rights.
Okay to remain silent? Yes, sir. No, sir. Okay.
Is there a problem?
Honestly feel threatened by this courtroom.
And? This is not the circus.
I'm
This is not a playroom.
clown.
This is a court.
I'm
And-
very coherent and competent.
No one says you were incompetent, but you have bond conditions that you're supposed to live up to. And we've given you so much as we've also given you a lawyer, and you're supposed to treat everyone here with respect. And when you don't, there's serious consequences.
Is there a thing for self-representation? I know that is a third option as well.
Of course you can represent yourself. You can do open heart surgery on yourself too?
Well, I ask for fair representation in a speedy trial.
No one here does anything to hurt anyone. The only thing that we're concerned about here is public safety and that everybody gets treated fairly and with respect. That
I fear for my
includes,
life and safety against Harris County.
I don't know what to tell you about there, but you need to take that with whoever you feel threatened by. But
Harris County.
here, we need to protect everybody in Harris County.
Me and my children.
We've given you a lawyer. I want you to treat him with respect. And I want you to treat our clerks with respect, our bailiffs, and us. I'm not asking for much. The only
I deserve
condition
the
I
same
put on you
thing.
now is to not go back to the location where you were allegedly trespassed from. They don't want you there. So that's why I'm telling you now, don't go back. That's the only condition that we have.
In regards to my housing, which is my documentation right here, that should be submitted into my file. My stuff is supposed to be terminated on the 30th of this month, which I had probable cause to actually go and speak with Gary Baxter in regards to my housing contract. I also emailed informal hearing before November the 1st and haven't got a response back. So I had every reason to be at Houston Housing Authority.
You may have had a right to be there, but at some point, they're well within their right to say, look, we don't want you here anymore. You are creating a disturbance, so we would like you to leave.
Can y'all subpoena the cameras?
You can do whatever you want. You're going from here to here to here to here to here. Listen to what I'm saying and focus on this in the now. Don't start thinking of something in the future or something because you're not listening to what's happening now. You may have had a right to be there, but at some point you lost that because of the way you may have treated everyone, and then they didn't want you there anymore.
I'd like to file a hate crime against Harris County, the city of Houston.
Okay. You hear what I just said?
Hmm?
What did I just say?
Oh, I can't go back to 2640 Fountain View Drive in regards to it being my property, but have an actual,
I believe so. It's the Houston Housing.
yeah, the Houston Housing Authority have an actual
Now,
reasons to be
that's
there.
not to say you may send them an email. You could send them a fax. I don't know if that would include calling. As far as trespassing is concerned,
I can look into it, Judge, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was wrongfully
they can
evicted.
have an issue if she calls over there. That I don't know.
The
Wrongfully
notice here
terminated.
that is kind of the subject of this incident does give her multiple options: email, mail, fax, phone. And she did send those emails. She was,
I don't know now with them telling her they don't want her back. How does
well,
that play
if
into?
they haven't asked for a no contact order and there's no specific person, I would say.
Exactly.
Because she
No response back from my
she still has
emails.
not been, she lives in, she has housing assistance through the Houston Housing Authority, Judge. And it says her assistance will be terminated on the 30th. So I mean, this is where she lives of this month. So she's still got a couple more days to try to resolve whether she gets to continue, having housing assistance.
The only other thing, it's what's your last name again?
Simmons-Irvin, Ervin.
You're very passive aggressive in the way you come off.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm a victim of Harris County.
That may be well.
And so are my children screaming.
That may be well right, but in life, you get more with honey than you do with vinegar. And when you go to these people and you act in such a manner that they think you may be threatening them, you're not going to get far.
It's
Listen,
retaliation.
are you listening to what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell you, sometimes if you tuck your tail, you may get a lot more in life. I'll give you an example. I got pulled over months ago. I know I was in the right, but the officer came up and he goes, "Why did you stop? Why didn't you stop at that stop sign?" I know I stopped, may have been for a second or two. I told the officer, "Listen, Simmons," I told the officer, "Look, I'm sorry. It was an accident. I'm an idiot." He let me go. If I would have said to him, you a-hole, you're wrong. I didn't stop. I did what I was supposed to do. What do you think he would have done? He would have probably given me 5 tickets. But because I said, I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. It was stupid for me to do that.
Well, when you're facing reverse psychology
You get more with honey.
and they try to provoke you,
So what? Who cares? Be the bigger person. You're still going to get more. That's life. That's maturity. And when you tuck your tail, sometimes you get so much more, even if you're in the right and they're in the wrong. Who gives a shit? Sometimes that's what you have to do.
I also understand the indirect language it is in the Harris County Handbook dated 2021. And anybody that threatens and harass me in it, I have every right to press charges.
Did you just hear anything that I just said?
I did. I understand. I won't be there, but I know that I had every right to be. So if I'm forced out on the
You
streets.
don't have every right to
It'd be
be.
because of the government.
Don't have every, I am telling you now, and I'm ordering you not to go back to this place.
I'm not going there, but I have every right to speak. So I guess I need to contact Washington or somebody in regards to my contract and things, because this is a government facility. And as it says your housing assistance will be terminated on 11/30/2024. I also have two different client numbers as well. One number is 582213 and another one is 251651. So I had every right in regards to speaking with Gary Baxter again, which is right here, Kenneth Coles, Gary Baxter. Also received an email to reinstate my housing, I guess, I don't know, from Gary Baxter in regards to all that. So I'm just confused, because if I'm forced out on the streets in regards to being homeless and they're trying to pass new laws, then just so hypothetically, of course, thrown back into Harris County against my will, where I was held for 6 months, which is a violation of my constitutional and amendment rights, then it's retaliation. Also, I was told to surrender my inheritance in the direct language while I was being attempted murder by Harris County.
Have you speak to Corey about everything. Just remember, be nice. You get a lot more when you're nice than when you start raising your voice and yelling.
I am a traumatized victim. So if y'all could please work with me in regards to that, because I am a victim of Harris County. I do have a VAWA, of Violence Against Women's Act. It is still in the residence portal and everything. Simmons Irvin.
If anyone ever treats you wrong, just tell me and I'll try to do what I can to help you out. In any way, any shape, form, fashion, whatever you know, I'll help you as much as I can. All you got to say is the word.
Also facing my children being, the child expliciting cases.
Okay.
So,
Let's just
Bam.
focus on just signing your
So
bond condition.
I'm going to have you sign the conditions. We'll have you stay with Corey. Just be nice. Hopefully you'll get your housing back if you're nice. That's it. All right. Please.
Probably close down.
Jordan Caldwell. Ms. Caldwell, you were charged with assault of a family member. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Yes, Judge. The officer is dispatched to a residence in Harris County, Texas, in response to a family disturbance. The complainant stated that she got into a verbal argument with the defendant, her daughter, because the complainant believed the defendant was not taking care of her children. At that point, the defendant picked up a baby bottle and threw it at the complainant, hitting her in the cheek, causing pain. The defendant admitted to having thrown the baby bottle.
Ma'am, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I don't show a protective order as an issue. Do you show one? No? Okay. Ms. Caldwell, I'm entering in what's called a magistrate's order for emergency protection. This is a court order that identifies Candy Lachey as a protected individual. You cannot commit family violence or an assault against this person. Commit an act in furtherance of an offense under section 42.072 of the Texas Penal Code, which is the stalking statute. You cannot threaten, harass, use another person to communicate a threat or harassing behavior. You cannot be in possession of a weapon or go within 200 feet of where she lives or where she works. Do you understand? It's not an answer, ma'am.
Yes.
How old are you, ma'am? Are you here with anyone today? Who are you here with today? I'm sending you now for a drug test. I want to know what, if anything, is in your system, ma'am. You're to come right back. If you fail to take the test, if you fail to come back, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand? Okay, can you have her sign the note before she leaves, and then we'll send her for a test, please,
You're done with it, Your Honor?
for now. So just normal reset, everything is normal.
Okay.
Nothing special. Just stay out of trouble.
I believe her bond conditions require her to not go to the residence at issue. Her two children, right, are still there, and I'm not clear who
Who is the complaining witness again?
her mother.
Do we know if mom wants her back?
Let me see if it's been. It has, let me read this.
The only time I say no is when the complaining witness says no, because I want to honor their wishes. If the complaining witness is okay with it, then I am too.
Your Honor, the complainant is fine with contact. She just wants no threatening, harassing contact.
Okay, that's it. We'll let you go back to the home, but you have to understand what is threatening or harassing doesn't matter what you think. I'm trying to,
Understand?
Okay, I'm listening.
it's how she perceives. So when you start going like this, is that threatening or harassing? It is. So be careful how you act, because if we find that you're threatening or harassing the complaining witness, I will revoke the bond and put you in custody. All I'm asking you to do is be nice. That's it. If you constantly bang heads with your mom, be careful, you know,
Not only that, you could also get charged with violating bond conditions, all right?
protective order. And
Protective order.
yeah,
Can we make sure the protective order mirrors the bond conditions?
sure.
Okay.
Caldwell, do you mind printing out? Okay, ma'am. We've given you a lawyer. It's your responsibility to stay in touch with Corey. He'll tell you when you have to come back to court. I'm going to waive your appearance so you don't have to waste your time coming here, but just stay in contact with him and he'll tell you when you have to come back, and just be nice. If mom kicks you out, where are you going to go? You got two kids too, right? That's what you got to think about when you're out there. You just get in a fight with mom, they kick you out. Where are you going to go? And you got two kids. You can stay here with us. I don't think you're going to like that though. It's not, you know, it's not fun. Okay, so I'm going to amend the conditions and then you guys are good to go.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
For sure. Thanks, Corey. Come on.
So to the middle. I have a Norma Solano on today's docket. It looks like she had missed a drug test. For bond, we're here for
She
bond
here
violation.
now?
Oh, yes, Judge, she's here.
Okay.
And she said she was not aware that she had the drug test. I don't know if the manner in which they contact them, I thought they maybe call them for that. But she was originally going to do DWI PTI. She now says she would like to take a time served offer. Would you allow her to do that today?
Why? Why she doesn't want to do the,
Judge, she just said she
you know
doesn't.
what's he going to test positive for? Is that what it is?
No, Judge, but she just said that the expenses of the program, and she's working right now and she doesn't have time for the program.
Come up, Miss Solano.
But we had already gotten her approved and we're kind of on our way to, I think we might even have the contract already even for DWI PTI.
How old are you, ma'am?
25.
Okay. You know, being in court, it's not like being in Target, Costco, HEB, where if you don't like something, you can return it or you get buyer's remorse. When you make decisions in here, they're lifetime decisions that you have to live with forever. And, you know, there are collateral consequences that may arise, meaning consequences that you may never see pop up as a result of decisions that you make in here. When you plead guilty to an offense, that offense goes on your record and it's there for the rest of your life. And when you plead guilty, you can't take it off. You cannot say, you know what, I have a change of heart. I can't get an apartment. You know what, let me go and try to do something else. Once you plead, you're stuck like Chuck for the rest of your life. I tell you now, I have, you know, every month, people that call me, they go, you know, this lawyer pled me to this case and I can't get an apartment. Can you take it off? I have, like, they pled 10 plus years ago. truck drivers that want to better their life, but they pled guilty to a less than a gram case and can never take it off. When you plead to a DWI, not only is it very possible that you lose jobs with regard to, making a living with a car, your insurance is going to go up. Your insurance is going to skyrocket. Insurance is expensive as it is now. You pick up a DWI, it's going to be about 4 times what it is now. Not to mention any other consequence that can arise from a DWI conviction. You have the opportunity now where if you are granted entry into this program, if you complete it successfully, they dismiss the case. It looks like you've already have been granted entry into it. The only problem I see now is that you were called upon to take a drug test and you failed to go. I'm going to go send you for a drug test regardless, right?
Yes, sir, that's fine.
Right? But when you take a half-ass approach to something, you get a half-ass result. And it's usually not a good idea to do that with a criminal case. When you try hard, you get a good result. James worked hard to try to get you into this program. Has she been already admitted into it?
She's not in PTI, Judge, but she's been.
Right. But
Yes, Your Honor, the last update was that the contract was signed, the NDA was in.
all you literally need to do are 2 things. You pay the DA fee and you get an interlock. The DA fee, if you fill out a waiver, they may be able to waive that $300 fee. As far as the interlock, I can't pay for that. I can only pay for it while you're on bond. That's something that you'll be required to pay for. But I tell you now, the $50 to $75 cost you per month now is nothing compared to what you will end up paying with the DWI conviction. So you make the decision on what you want to do. I am going to send you for a drug test right now, regardless,
Yes, that's fine.
and alcohol test.
Yes,
But think long and hard before you make this decision because there's no turning back from it. Okay? Okay, man. Just hang tight for me.
You want to approach?
Sure.
Judge, we got Norma Solano's test results and she came back negative. What I was gonna,
Hold on.
sure, Judge.
Who is it?
Norma Solano, you sent her to go get tested?
Is that Miss Solano?
Yes, Judge. She's right over there.
Come up, Miss Solano.
That's kind of a alternative as opposed to having her plead today. Maybe we can get.
No, I don't want her to.
No, I know you
She
don't.
doesn't want to.
She wanted to do time served today, but I was thinking just instead of that, because she's already has the contract, maybe we can give her a couple weeks to talk to some friends and family and see if she would rather
What
go.
do you want to do?
You said you want to do the time served, or you think you want to do the 1-year program?
Well, I was iffy in the beginning. I just wanted to do the time served, and then I talked to my friends and my family, and they suggested to do the program. But since I got
Anytime you can get something dismissed, no matter how, that's always the best result, really, because like I told you, the consequences of a DWI conviction, they're staggering. You never know how it's going to affect you. It will. It's going to affect you. It's just, you never know how and by how much. And with the DWI is big business. You plead guilty, from now on, you're looking at a minimum of 30 days in jail. You're also looking at a mandatory about $6,000 to $7,000 in fines and fees just here from court. Not to mention insurance going up, not to mention all the other stuff in your life, how it's going to affect you. Whereas if you do this program, you do well, maybe they'll even boot you out early. If you do everything speedy, you do it quick, maybe they'll take you out early too. Just depends on how well you do. But you have to put effort into it.
Yes.
All you do is, there's 2 classes, right?
There's a couple classes and then it's the alcohol monitoring device.
And there's 2 classes, a little community service, and just stay clean. That's all you have to do.
I have clients regularly do everything in 6 months.
Take your time. I don't want you to rush into something now. So we'll set you off a couple weeks. In the interim, do we have the financial affidavit so we can have her doing that as well?
I can send you a copy of the financial affidavit to waive the $300 fee if you qualify, but you'd need bills and pay stubs and all that to be attached. I can send that to her, Judge.
Please. And I think we may even have a copy here actually for you. So, try to get that $300 fee waived, and then all you have to do is pay for the interlock and just stay clean. What do you think? We'll give you time. I'll give you a couple weeks. If you still want to do the time serve, that's on you. If you want to do the program, great. It's up to you. Take your time.
I think,
Yeah, just
Hush.
Okay.
talk about it.
Take
yes,
your
sir.
time.
Thank
Just-
you, Judge.
I'm glad that you're clean and don't miss again. Okay? All right. Good luck, Ms. Longo.
Thank you, Judge.
For sure.
Hey, quick question.
Ricardo? Antonio, what's his name?
His name is Cesar Alvarbo.
Good morning.
Yes.
You know, your lawyer has tried to work out an agreement with you. The problem is that it's going to take a while. And sometimes for a good result, it may take a while for that to happen. Here, his advice was for you to set it for trial, but unfortunately, because of the holidays coming up, normally we do a 30-day trial setting, but 30 days from today runs into the Christmas time, and we don't have any juries here. So the first jury trial setting that we have is for January 7th, and he wanted to set your case for jury trial on that day to see whether they can make the case or not. I know that you're itching to get out, but you got to understand that if you plead today, there are very serious consequences. You're charged with assault of a family member. This carries an affirmative finding of family violence. What that means is that if you ever pick up another one of these cases again, you will be charged with a third-degree felony, and you will be looking at a minimum of 2 years in prison, a maximum of 10 years in prison. And when I mean an assault, it doesn't have to be a beat down with blood everywhere. Simple fact is you grab someone's arm and squeeze it to where it hurts. That's enough for them to charge you with a serious felony where you're looking at 10 years in prison. If you do this, you can never own a gun or ammunition as well. So the advice by your lawyer is for you to wait a bit and set up a trial January 7th. What would you like to do?
¿Qué quisiera hacer usted?
Mejor si lo espero el 7 de enero.
I'd rather wait for the January 7th.
Okay. Antonio,
Yes, sir.
there you go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and we'll set up a trial for January 7th and we'll see what happens. You know, that's the advice of your lawyer. I would, you know,
Okay.
yeah, okay. Here you go.
Yes, Judge. Okay, all right. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, this was the last one.
Good morning. So, Mr. Hercules, you were charged with reckless driving. You're facing up to 30 days in jail and or a $500 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 3 days in jail, credit for the 18 days that you've done. You sure?
Yeah.
3 days in jail, credit for the 18. You know, the way that you were driving in that parking lot, God forbid that you hit someone, kill them, run someone else over, driving out like that and then bolting out at 90 miles an hour in a parking lot. You're begging for trouble, man. Can you imagine if you hit and kill someone? Who gets charged with murder? Mr. Hercules.
You're right.
So, you know, in a parking lot, that's not the right place to do it. If you want to do it, there are places in Houston, but not in a parking lot, man. How many racing facilities are there in this town? I mean, a lot. Don't do it again. I'm going to tell you one more thing, that the legislature has made it really easy for DAs across Texas to seize and take cars away from individuals who do this. You are now going to end up with a conviction for this on your record. You pick up another one of these cases, it's very possible that he sees and take that car forever and you don't get it back. Do you understand?
Sure.
The right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, it will go on your record. You can never change this. Is this what you want to do? How do you plead to the offense? Guilty or not guilty?
They give me the time served.
Yes, you get the time
Yes.
served.
Are you guilty of this offense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. I'll find you guilty. I'll send you the agreement. Now, we're not going to release you today because Louisiana wants you. So you'll probably Monday or Tuesday be out of here and then on your way to Louisiana. Okay? Good luck over there.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Take care.
Yeah, I like
Mr.
your sports jacket. It looks nice.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
All right, Mr. Rickus, have a good one. Your Honor, may I be excused? Thank you, sir.
And with that, that's it. You done?
Well, you're good. Failure to post.
Oh, okay.
In your honor, briefly on Williams, were those state's conditions or pretrial for the marijuana? Is that a state's condition for bond or pretrial?
Good job.
Okay.
Did you want random testing or just?
Do you know why you're here?
Yes, sir.
Why are you here?
Because I didn't finish my community service, and my class I did finish, Your Honor, but I got into a tight budget, very, very bad.
One of the only other things we asked you to do, don't use drugs or alcohol.
Yes, sir.
And now you're testing positive for cocaine. You tested positive for cocaine in February, and you've just now tested positive for cocaine again. Take a seat for me in the jury box, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Judge, I am here on Mr. Alejandro Guardado. Looks like it's an MRP judge. I've been informed that
Come up, Mr. Guardado.
my client had tested positive for cocaine, I believe. I think this is his second or third time testing positive. We want to know what direction you.
Hey, this isn't the club, man. You. So you trying to talk to her. This isn't the club, man.
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Get your brother. Mr. Guardado, you were placed on probation for a very serious case and you've had issue after issue. The reason I brought you here was try to ensure that we could get you on the right path, but you're continuing to use, and you just today tested positive for cocaine again. And I'm at a remiss that they didn't even inform us in February when the first time you tested positive for cocaine. So now I'm issuing a motion to revoke your probation and I'm issuing a warrant for your arrest. I've appointed you a lawyer so we can figure something out, but you can't continue to use cocaine while you're on probation and expect good things. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what I would suggest at this time is we probably get a TRAS to see how we go forward because I just don't know.
Yes,
You're
sir.
using, and that's not something you're supposed to be using, you know? It goes with you.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
How much you said in the bond, Judge?
What's it at now? 5,001.
Judge, I have Evan Nelson, and we're approaching because of the age of the case. Wanted to also just update you as to what's going on with it.
Okay.
We have talked, my client and we have asked the state to evaluate this one for trial. They did make a 3-day time served offer, which I presented to my client. And he is not amenable to accepting that. based on the elements of the offense, and we talked through those.
You know, Mr. Nelson, the only problem I have is that you don't show up. We've already had, you've been given one GOB, you've been given one PR bond, and now you've made a surety bond. You miss again, I'm gonna make your bond so high, your hair's gonna look like mine. You know what I mean? You're gonna be losing it because you're gonna be so upset. So don't miss again, really. Giving you a great lawyer, all you got to do is stay in contact. What offer have you made on Mr. Nelson's case?
It looks like Pavel had put in a time served offer when he was still in.
Is that it?
I'm welcome, I mean, I'm happy to talk to counsel, about another
Okay,
offer. This is just an old offer put in by Pavel.
okay. Oh, yeah, it's a prior assault dismissed. Okay. We'll give you guys some time. It's not going to be too much time because your case is already 190 days old. So it's time to figure out what we're going to do. We'll give you, 3 weeks. But at that time, you got to come back and we got to figure out what we're going to do. At that time, in 3 weeks, if you don't accept anything, I'm going to set your case for trial. Okay? All right, guys.
Thank you, Judge.
Good luck. See you in 3 weeks.
Have a good weekend.
Sure. Is there gonna be any bond conditions? Because we just put them in the box straight away.
Just no weapons, I guess. That's it. It's a prior AFM, so yeah.
All right,
Okay.
let's take
So
one.
Morgan, do you mind following? Just no weapons.
Yes, Judge.
If it's not already there, I don't know. All right. Good morning.
Yes.
I want to let you both know that if you look on the TV, your lawyer is on the TV with you now, so that you're not alone. Both of you are charged with theft. You are facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you. Okay.
Yes, Judge. On November 15th, 2024, officers were dispatched to Walmart in regard to a theft. Upon arrival, officers made contact with the complainant, the asset protection officer, who stated he saw the defendant and co-defendant conceal items in the defendant's purse. The complainant advised that as defendant was concealing items, co-defendant was staying very close to shield her from others in order to prevent them from being seen and from others seeing what she was doing. Both then exited the store, passing all points of sale with items still in the defendant's purse. The complainant detained the two and recovered the stolen items. Total $112.31.
Okay. All right. Mr. Ochoa Gonzalez and Ms. Fresneda, I am finding that there's probable cause to go forward on both of your cases. Tell me, what is your immigration status? Are you in this country with or without permission? Ma'am,
With permission?
what is your immigration status? Are you a citizen of the United States, sir? I don't know if you do or if you don't, and quite frankly, it doesn't matter to me. The only thing I'm going to advise you now is that if you have any problems with your immigration paperwork and you go to jail, immigration will put a detainer on you and you will sit in custody first until this case is over with, and then you will be shipped off to immigration and you will sit there for another 6 to 9 months waiting for immigration to do whatever they're going to do. If you do not want that to happen, do not violate these conditions. Do not pick up any more criminal cases. This is the only warning that you will get from me. I am now ordering you as a condition of your bond not to go to any Walmart for any reason whatsoever. Do you understand?
Okay.
If I find that you go to Walmart and I don't care what your reason is, I will issue a warrant for your arrest and I'm going to put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Likewise, you pick up another criminal case, you will go to jail. Both of you have a lawyer. It is your responsibility to stay in touch with Mr. Porras, and he will tell you if and when you have to come back to court. If he comes back to me and tells me he cannot get a hold of you because you guys are playing games, you're not responding to phone calls, text messages, likewise, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. For now, I will have you go to Victoria. We will have you sign a reset. After that, I'm going to have you both take a seat in the jury box while we get your bond conditions. Heed this warning. You will not get another one. Okay. Victor,
Yes, sir.
did you get a date already?
Not yet, Judge.
January 28th.
28th through the 30th.
What
We can do
day
the
is-
28th.
Okay. Right, Judge, and then Marcos is approaching on page 2. Alonso Herrera.
Can you file those conditions, please, on both of those? Will you
May I
find
be excused, Your Honor?
Otherwise, sir, should be here. And Jenny's helping out today.
Say
May
it
I be
again?
excused, Your Honor?
Oh, yeah, you got it. Have a great weekend, bud.
Appreciate it. You too, Judge.
Sure.
Alonso, ALO.
Alonso Herrera.
Thank you.
You, Ruben Alejandro Alonso Herrera.
Yes, Judge.
So you're charged with failure to comply with duty, striking an unattended vehicle. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present if you cannot afford one. One will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
The officer was dispatched to a residence in Harris County, Texas, in response to a failure to stop and give information. The complainant reported that his brother was standing outside when he heard a loud bang and saw a silver car striking the complainant's car, which had been parked in the street. The complainant and his brother immediately began pursuing the vehicle and observed it parked in front of a residence down the street. The complainant took photos of the defendant exiting the vehicle and going into the residence. When officers asked whether the defendant remembered striking the complainant's vehicle, the defendant stated, "I probably scraped by it, but nothing at all. It was dark out."
What's the value?
Let's see, Your Honor. Approximately $1,500.
Judge, I don't think a rip has been done, so there's no estimate. We don't know. If the
Yeah, I get it, but at least it needs to be over $200. That's why. Sir Alonso Herrera, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Do you have a valid Texas driver license, sir?
Yes, sir.
You have valid liability insurance in your name.
No, Judge.
Then you're not allowed to drive. And I'm making that a condition of your bond until you have liability insurance and show us that you have liability insurance. I'm making it a condition of your bond that you're not to drive. I don't care where you're going. I don't care what you're doing. Do you understand?
Yes, Judge.
You will be signing an affidavit with me today promising me that you're not going to drive. If I find that you do, it's possible that I have a contempt hearing. And every time they prove to me that you're driving a vehicle, you can be facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $500 fine. Do you understand?
Yes, Judge.
Now, you have a lawyer. Good job on having a lawyer. Because you have one, I will waive your appearance, but it's your responsibility to stay in touch with Mr. Adroga, and he will tell you when you have to come back to court. If he tells me he can't get a hold of you because you're playing games, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. Pick up a new case, violate any conditions. Likewise, you will go to jail. You will not get any more PR bonds, sir. All right, I will have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. I'll get you the Victoria sign and reset, and then you guys are good to go.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Judge, page 1.
You, Miss Alasia Williams? Miss Williams, I'm sorry? Ma'am, you're charged with possession of marijuana. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present if you cannot afford one. One will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
On November 14th, 2024, the officer observed the driver of a vehicle not wearing his seatbelt, and the traffic stop was initiated. The motor vehicle was occupied by a front right passenger, the defendant. The officer observed a strong odor of marijuana emitting from the vehicle, and the driver stated there were no drugs or weapons in the motor vehicle. Prior to the motor vehicle search, the defendant stated she had a weapon inside the motor vehicle, and a search was conducted where the officer found a purse on the passenger seat containing a 9mm handgun and a bag containing a green leafy substance identified as marijuana based on training experience. The weight of the marijuana was 3.1 grams.
So there was a smell of,
There was an odor, yes, Your Honor.
so what happened with the driver?
I don't see a connected case for the driver, Your Honor.
Ma'am, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. How old are you, ma'am? What do you do for a living? I didn't hear you. What did she say?
a DJ, Your Honor.
Oh, you're a DJ. Okay. And where do you work?
I just like bookings, parties, events, weddings, family reunions.
Okay. No more marijuana, ma'am. As long as you can abide, then we'll be fine. How much money do you make a month, ma'am?
800
On average, what do you say? What do you think?
in a week.
A month, on average. Are you able to afford a lawyer? You sure? Do you want to apply for court-appointed lawyer, ma'am? It's okay. Let me give you a lawyer, okay? Just don't get in any trouble. Okay, all right. Do you mind giving her a lawyer, please? Or an application? I need you to fill out an application for me. Fill it out. And then I'm gonna have you sign a receipt of Victoria. We'll have you take a seat in the jury box while we find your lawyer, ma'am, okay? Please.
Judge, this is DWI PTI intervention. Ms. Harvey's been removed from the program. Harvey, yes, Judge.
I'm bringing him up.
Ms. Harvey?
Good morning, Mr. Horn. It's been a while.
I
was hoping you'd give me some good news.
Here we are, Judge.
Shh. What did she pick up? Don't. Stephen, do you have room back there?
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you, ma'am. You picked up a new case while you're on bond. We have one thing that we do when people pick up new cases, right? I have to revoke her bond. Sorry, ma'am. She goes with you.
Judge, if we could talk about it right now.
Sure.
Judge, we'd ask for a $500 bond. Judge, this is, she was on the program for, it looks like about 8 months. I don't know if there were any other violations. I just been on this case for 24 hours. But I know the new law violations triggering what we're triggering. But I believe she was in compliance on the DWI program she was in compliance up to this new law violation. So.
Is that right?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, she was, but now they've, so I'll set the bond at 2501. Okay. But understand it's now time to decide what we need to do.
That's correct.
If she wanted to do something today.
Judge, I'm just retained. Let me get her bond out. Yeah, Judge, may I have 6 weeks?
Oh, 6 weeks is, the max I'll give you, it's 520 days old. I'll give you 30, but at that time, and if she gets out, she needs to come here immediately for bond conditions because I'm putting an ankle monitor on her as far as like, what does she have now?
That's part of the program, Judge.
Do we need to redo bond conditions?
She still has.
Has. Okay, she has to remain in compliance and you need to advise her that she got to remain in compliance with that. If that goes out, the bond is.
That's correct, Judge. I advise her upon initial consultation.
So here's the deal. She's going to auto-populate on Monday. Well, I bet she's going to bond out.
Yes, Judge.
So she'll be back here within the next 7 days. And then I guess we'll come back at that time, give you a little bit more time for you guys to decide what you want to do. But after that, it's plea or trial. Okay, Mr. Horn. Thanks.
Let you know, I didn't tell you earlier, there was a time.
Give me good news.
Joshua Jones.
Oh.
So he's here for a PTI violation. He has picked up new cases.
Come up, Joshua Jones.
I was just gonna ask you if we could withdraw. He's nearly a year past due. He owes us over $2,000. We don't want to get on the new case. Allow him some time to hire an attorney that can handle.
I'm okay with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that's fine. And so I will have to appoint him someone, you know. Mr. Jones, let me express my disappointment with you. You were was he in the PTI program?
To my knowledge, he had a
You
previous
were in the
attorney.
intervention program for DWI, and now you've picked up another DWI. You now face another 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney appointed if you cannot afford one.
Yes, Judge. On November 17th, 2024, an officer was dispatched to a person down call at the 15,000 block Intercontinental Road. And upon contact, the officer made contact with a witness who advised he observed the defendant to be asleep in the driver's seat of his motor vehicle. Despite the witness's attempts to wake the defendant did not wake up, and the witness turned the defendant's vehicle off in order to maintain his safety. The officer observed the defendant asleep in the driver's seat of the motor vehicle and also had unsuccessful attempts at waking up the defendant. When the defendant finally woke up after the officer made physical contact with him, the officer observed an unholstered black pistol in the driver's door and 2 half-consumed alcoholic beverages inside the truck.
Drinking while driving?
Yes, Judge. And standard field sobriety tests were refused. DIC was read and the defendant consented to breath and blood. Blood was drawn due to the defendant being unable to give 2 breath samples.
Mr. Jones, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I am now finding that you're a complete and utter danger to the public, and I am taking away your privilege to drive. You will be signing an affidavit with me today promising me you're not going to drive, and I don't give a rat's behind what your excuse is if I find that you drive. I will have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. Do you understand? Because of the nature of the case, because you have an open container, 2 open containers with the DWI, I'm now revoking both of your bonds and I'm going to set them at $25,000 each. Do you understand? He goes with you. I'll sign your motion to withdraw.
She's just staring
Come on around.
at the front. It was here from the case.
You, Zader Yanez. Sir. Mr. Yanez, you're charged with theft. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On November 14th, 2024, officers were dispatched to a theft at a Home Depot in Harris County, Texas. The officers made contact with the complainant. The complainant observed the defendants enter the store, they observed the defendant walk into the store, walk to a hardware department, and approach a high-dollar Milwaukee hammer drill. The defendant, Yanez, selected 1 drill off the shelf and proceeded walking around the hardware department. The defendant handed the drill to the co-defendant and both proceeded to the plumbing section. The defendant opened the drill box, removed the drill from the box, and helped conceal the drill into the co-defendant's purse. The defendant discarded the empty box and both proceeded towards the front of the store. Both defendants passed all points of sale without paying. The total was $199.
Okay. Mr. Yanez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to go to any Home Depot whatsoever. Do you understand? If I find that you go, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. How old are you, sir? How old are you?
25.
What do you do for a living?
Distribution clerk.
Did you graduate from high school?
Yes.
What kind of money you make?
What kind of money I'm making? 17 an hour.
We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. After that, I'll have you take your seat in the jury box. We'll get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it. You're also not to have any contact with the co-defendant in this case. Do you understand? You violate any of these conditions, you pick up a new case, I'm going to keep you with me, and it's not going to go well for you. You understand? Okay. All right, come on.
Page 1, Adams.
How many bonds have we given or reinstated for Mr. Adams here?
So 3 in total, 1 GOP, 1 reinstatement, and then
And now he gets another PR bond?
this one was issued with this last one.
Do you have a lawyer today, Mr. Adams?
No, sir.
Your case is 1,258 days old. It is time to put this baby to bed. Take a seat for me. Vic, do you mind appointing him a lawyer, please?
Okay,
Do something today.
next up is page 2. Arvalo. Maryland.
Ms. Aravalo, you were charged, how old are you, ma'am?
20.
Ma'am, you're charged with prostitution. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You have already taken off on us 2 times. If it happens a 3rd time, you will stay with me. We'll not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a lawyer?
No, sir.
I'm gonna appoint you one today and we will figure out where we go. Take a seat for me in the jury box, ma'am. Okay,
It's,
it's a really old case.
yes,
I've told him it's time to put this baby to bed.
yes.
Is there an offer in this case?
No,
How come after 1,258 days, there is no offer?
hoping we can get a gun safety class and dismiss.
It appears that was.
Come on, Mr. Adams.
The delay is probably due to the missing dash cam that's still outstanding that we do not have.
I don't care.
Yes, Judge.
Get on it now.
Yes, Judge. Well,
Why on earth would we allow you to do this class where you get to dismiss this case when it's 1,258 days and you've repeatedly taken off? It's a rhetorical question. You don't have to answer it. But I'm telling you now, I'm giving you 2 weeks to decide what to do with this case. The next time you come here, you will either accept a plea bargain agreement or I'm setting your case for trial. Do you understand? Not only that, I'm putting an ankle monitor on your ankle now so I know where you are at all times. Do you understand, Mr. Adams? And the next time you take off, I'm going to make your bond so high you're going to have teeth falling out. Do you understand?
Judge, if I may, my client, shortly after this arrest, he lost his mother, and I believe it's the mother of one of his children.
No, my sister.
Sister. He fell on hard times. He was already, not well employed. And he's been through some rough times in his life in the past few years. He recently got a job working at a Chinese restaurant, and he has 3 children that he helps take care of. I'm not exactly sure when his last failure to appear was. It might have only been 1, but he hasn't been in trouble since this arrest, I think in 2021, right? So I asked the court to withhold from, giving him an ankle monitor. The state's also missing evidence here. If we can come back.
Last time we saw him was 3 years ago, Corey. So, I have sympathy in the fact that everybody has hard times, but your failure to appear on a repeated basis is a constant kick in the ding ding to us, and I'm not going to take it. And I'm going to tell you now, I don't know why your bond is not at 10,003, because that is what it really should be. Your bond is at 1,002, and it's way off of what it normally would be. Because I'm telling you, your bond should be 10,003 because that's what they're normally set with a person who has absconded as many times as you do now. You're lucky that you're not in custody as it is now. Do you understand? But at 1,258 days, I don't trust you. And so the only way I know that I'm going to keep tabs on you is with an ankle monitor. And like I said, the next time you take off, and it doesn't matter what the excuse is, the bond is going to go astronomical. Do you understand, Corey? I'm sorry, but if it were maybe 500, maybe 300, I would relent on not putting a monitor. But at 4 years or however long this case is, hell no.
I think that reflects his law abidingness, right? That he hasn't been in trouble, had any interactions with the police.
How do I know that?
Well, yes.
I don't know.
He hasn't been. He would have been in an orange jumpsuit, I guess. If
Not
he had to.
necessarily. I mean, we don't know how he's been out of county, out of state. Look, you're walking out of here now. You're getting 2 weeks to decide what to do. You're not going into custody now. So you're still walking out of here, but I'm putting a monitor on you. And I'm telling you something else that I should make you pay for it, where it would cost you around $400 to $500 a month, but I'm going to eat it So there's no excuse. Do you understand, Ms. Adams? But you got to understand that in court, we hold people accountable. You may be able to live your life like this outside of the free world, but not in court. We will hold you accountable. And the next time, get ready. Take a seat. Thank you. Of course.
Judge, for the conditions,
Hey,
I have some.
expedite it, whatever you need to do to get that body cam.
A week or
2 weeks, 2 weeks, yeah.
Judge, for the conditions, I have some from the magistrate as well for remain in Harris County. Did you want to keep that?
No, I mean, I've got a monitor, so I know where he is, you know,
So for all of the conditions, we have the GPS. Do you want that today?
right now.
And
No.
then any other conditions? No firearms, weapons, ammunition,
That's it.
drugs and alcohol?
No, it's fine. Okay. All right, Corey.
Thank you. I almost made a joke.
Good morning.
Two, new appointments.
Okay.
First, Miss Arevalo.
Okay, so that's Miss Araval in the back in the gray.
Yeah, I spoke.
P180? P180?
Yeah, most likely.
Okay, just whatever you want.
Okay, yes, sir. And then,
Just admonish her 3 strikes. She's already taken off twice. It's not gonna happen again.
Sandra.
Twice already.
Judge,
Yeah.
was that state's law conditions or pre-trial?
No, I'm not gonna do just, yeah, I guess state conditions where don't engage in like, behavior. Do you mind filing that?
On Pedro.
Aravalo,
Yes.
no prostitution.
Yes.
And who else? Jen?
and Mr. Joshua Jones. I believe you revoked him?
Yeah, he picked up another DWI. He was in the PTI program. I just put a whole host of conditions on him. We've now taken him into custody and just whatever you want. It's gonna take time.
Has a new bail been set on the?
Yeah, I set them both at 25.
Okay.
Yeah, for now. He's on bond for a DWI, picks up another DWI, passed out. He's got 2 open drinks in the car, he's drinking while he's actually driving. So, for now, and then we can always approach later on,
Gotcha. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All right, good morning. You are Stephen Clement.
Yes, Stephen Clement.
Mr. Clement. I wanted to let you know that you're not here alone. Your lawyer is here with you, but she's on Zoom. You are wanted out of the state of Callaway, Kentucky, specifically for 2 counts of burglary in the 3rd degree of $500 or more, but under $10,000. Are you waiving formal extradition? Okay. We need you to sign the waiver, and then we will have Kentucky come pick you up.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good luck.
Oh.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Ms. Oko.
Now, thank you, Judge.
Thanks. Have a great weekend. Okay. Yes, I saw that you guys have, Maple.
Yes, Your Honor.
You as well, Judge. Thank you.
Take care. Or you want to do the plea now?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm ready when you are. Joshua Maple, come up. Mr. Maple, you're charged with 2 cases. You're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're also charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You guys have worked out an agreement where they're going to dismiss the unlawful carrying of a weapon in exchange for your plea on the DWI. You need to understand that this DWI will go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. It's even there after you die. It's important because if you ever get pulled over, an officer is going to look at your record. They're going to see a DWI. What do you think they're going to do to you if they smell alcohol or dope? Right. What we're doing today, from now on, you are facing a minimum of 30 days in jail. No more slaps on the wrist. Do you understand? So if I were you, I would never get in a car, even if you've had a sip of alcohol, a toke off a joint, whatever it may be. because you're taking a humongous risk. For $20, you click one button, you can have a car taking you perhaps $30. Anywhere you want to go, it's a geographical oddity why it's always $25 to $30 with Uber. Do you understand? Giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, there's no turning back. It's a lifetime decision. Is this what you want to do? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
How do you plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated? Guilty or not guilty?
Yes, sir.
I will find you guilty, sentence you to the 3 days in jail, give you credit for the one. There is a surcharge that you will be required to pay for this case.
I want to put on some testimony concerning the surcharge.
Okay.
Mr. Maple, where are you currently employed?
With my uncle. Over with him.
What do you do?
Look at houses, remodel them, and fix up houses.
How much do you generally make a month?
1,500.
Okay. Yeah, but I take it you have to pay for somewhere to live, correct? You have to pay for a vehicle, insurance, cell phone, food.
Yes.
When your monthly bills and expenses are paid, does it pretty much equal what you make, the $1,500 you make each month? Can you speak up?
Yes.
And would you be unable to pay a $3,000 surcharge based on your financial situation?
No.
Pass witness.
Why on earth would we bend over backwards to help you when you don't give a rat's behind about this case? You have taken off 4 different times. You have failed to appear in this court for court settings. Why on earth have you taken off 4 times? What? So you just don't care about us and work is more important than court, huh? Actions speak louder than words, Mr. Maple, but you have taken off 4 different times. You are lucky that you are not in jail right now as it is. So why on earth would we help you when you don't even want to help yourself? Why?
Just trying to better myself. I should have listened to my gut and come here.
How much do you really make a month, Mr. Maple?
1,500 a month.
Who do you live with?
My dad.
Who are you here with now?
Just the lawyer.
I don't know. You know, it's
Young kid, nope. Not working, not a troublemaker. Just
here's my problem, Mr. Maple. My problem is that you've taken off on us over and over and over and over. Today, you're walking out of here and nothing is happening to you. My experience is that when we are too easy on people, they don't get the message and they act like a bonehead out there in the free world. And then they end up either picking up a new DWI or doing something else that's even worse. How do I know that you've learned anything about this? Because like I said, with how bad you've acted with us over the course of the last 7 months, you're skating out of here with a proverbial slap on the wrist. How do I know that you have learned anything, Mr. Maple?
Because I got my baby brother looking over me and I gotta do better.
Here's what we're gonna do. I will take off the $3,000 surcharge, but you will be required to pay the court costs in this case, for which are around $500. And I'm gonna tell you now, if you don't pay it, every $100 you owe, you will sit in jail for 1 day. So you'll be required to pay for something. And if you don't pay it, your butt will sit in jail for almost a week. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to tell you now, the next time you come back, if you come back with the DWI, it's around $6,000 in surcharges, not to mention court costs. So you can look forward to around $7,000 in fines and fees. If you want to drink, if you want to get loaded, if you want to smoke, find another way. Do you understand? Because if you come back, it will be HE double hockey sticks to pay. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I'm suspending your license for 180 days. You are not allowed to drive at all. If you drive, that in and of itself is a Class B misdemeanor, just like a DWI, a driving on a suspended license case. Heed this warning. There won't be another one. Do you understand? All right.
Your Honor, any previous suspension from this incident, would it run concurrent?
Really? Really? No. No, there has to be some kind of consequence, man. Really, taking off 4 times? I'm taking off 3,000 now, and he wants me to. I love you. Go. So 180 and then just the court costs.
So here is the question I want every one of you to sit with. A woman with cancer, a hole in her heart, no income, and a housing contract about to expire was charged with interfering with a public servant for refusing to leave a building she may have had a legal right to be in. The judge could not give her legal advice. He could only give her a lawyer and tell her to be nice. So here is the real question. At what point does a criminal courthouse become the wrong building entirely for a problem that has nothing to do with crime and everything to do with a system that has already failed this person in every way before she ever walked through that door?
So only CC, yeah, the 3,000.
Judge, are you ready for the arraignment?
You are Aziel Gracia.
Sir.
Mr. Gracia, you. So
He's charged with, I've never seen this before, Judge, but he's charged with violating a bond condition.
yeah, I mean, I've certainly seen it.
And,
It's either
It's not a protective order, it's a bond condition.
right because they can't make the protective order case because it's been more than 61 days,
Had
right?
nothing to do with the protective order, Judge.
So yeah, right, I get it.
It was a different situation completely. Had nothing to do with family violence.
Get there. So you're charged in violation of a bond condition / protective order. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you, sir. If you cannot afford a lawyer be appointed to represent you. So before we start, was he in a PTI? Is that why this case is 1,000 days old?
Yes, sir. He just has a few BIP classes left to finish the PTI.
Okay. Okay, go for it.
Judge. The officer was dispatched to a business in Harris County, Texas in response to a disturbance. Upon arrival, the officer observed the defendant grab another male aggressively, and the officer conducted a search on the defendant's person and found a loaded gun in the front pocket. The defendant is currently on bond for an assault family violence and has bond conditions in place prohibiting from possessing a firearm.
Yeah, all right. Mr. Gracia, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward on the bond conditions. State, what's your position as far as he's in a PTI? He's now picked up a new case. Mr. Gracia, I want you to know that we take these bond conditions extremely serious.
Sir.
You don't, though. This is not your first VPO. This is not your first violation of bond condition. You don't get it. No means no. Doesn't mean maybe. Doesn't mean I'm going to a high crime area. No means no. And now there are consequences. Stephen.
Judge, can I tell you a little bit about the case?
Sure.
You know, like, just to explain to you what happened. He was at his business. He owns a trucking company. He hired somebody who he said he took a chance on him because he's has a sketchy record, convicted felon. It didn't work out within a couple of days, so he ended up firing the individual. The individual refused to leave the premises or refused to accept it. So he started threatening him. He went inside. The individual started trying to damage the trucks. So at that point, he was fearful. He went and retrieved a firearm that he knew was hidden in the vehicle. I'm sorry, in there. I understand, Judge. And
It's about the worst thing that you can do. Imagine if you use the firearm. Who gets charged with murder? Mr. Gracia? Who has now dug themselves into a potential 50-year hole? We have a case like that today where a meager argument, someone who's charged with assault is now charged with murder because of a silly ass, stupid ass argument. Now dude is sitting in custody with a $250,000.
And he's been punished at this point, Judge. He's been punished for violating the bond by getting an entire new case on that. So as far as him going into custody for violating the bond condition, I would hope that you would take that into consideration, the fact that he has gotten punished on the bond violation already, and the fact that he's already had to hire a new attorney for two cases at this point, and it's probably going to affect the other case. So I would hope that you would continue supervision on that, just taking that into consideration.
I truly appreciate your position, but you have an assault from 2019 of a family member. The following year, you pick up a violation of a protective order or bond condition. Now you have another assault that they were even, what the hell you're looking over there? Was it Jesus over there? You already have an assault of a family member that was dismissed as it is. You were lucky enough to even have this kind of an agreement where they're willing to dismiss a second assault of a family member. And now you pick up another violation of a bond condition. Eric, he doesn't get it.
I understand, Judge.
You don't get it. And now I have to show you, we mean business. I think that you are utter and complete danger to public safety. And I will do everything in my power to protect my public in every single way. Because the last thing I want is you to pick up a murder case like we have here this morning. Someone else goes with you.
Judge, one more thing. There's a bond condition on there that he's not allowed to return to that address. That address is his business. It's his place of business. The other person has no right to that address. So hasn't worked for the last week and a half because there's a bond condition, I'm assuming from the magistrate, that doesn't allow him to go back to that business.
Show me proof.
I'd like to be
Show
able
me
to take
proof. And, the proper, and you need to advise, the proper way to do things is you call the cops. Really. I mean, that's, if you own the business, you show it. I mean, how easy would it have been to just call police?
I mean, he has a right to defend his property and
Not while the case is open. He does, but not in that manner.
It's one of those things where things happen quick and you have to make a decision. And when we're talking about trucks that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars and things like that.
911, man. Really?
How long do they take to get there, Judge? So
Okay. They will still take his ass to jail and then, you try to get restitution or whatnot. But
so as far as the bond goes, can you set him a bond today? So
of course.
And Judge, we've contacted Conrad because it's his case, but I just want to confirm that bond has been revoked for his prior case. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. On the assault, I'm revoking it.
Yes, Judge.
Looks like they set the bond at 20,000 on the new case.
Yes, Judge.
I'm gonna mirror it.
Because he's already posted that bond. He's already hired me. He hired me on the other case as well. There's a motion to sub in your queue that I need you to sign as well.
I'll sign it for you.
I'd ask that you set that new bond at $500. It's tough for the family, Judge. I mean, at this point, he hasn't worked in 2 weeks. He's trying to get back on his feet. He did everything properly. He didn't go back to the location because of the bond condition.
I'm not doing $500. I mean, I was thinking that was going to mirror the same one. I was put it at 20,000.
And that would be his next position to mirror.
So he understands that we mean business. If he's unable to bond out, I'm always willing to talk after a couple days, but I want him to understand that we take it absolutely serious. And when you go over there with a gun with the intent to do some serious damage, hell no. No way. No. And I think that making it 20,000, what the other one is, hopefully it'll get his But like I said, look,
10,000?
like, I'm not out for blood, Eric, you know, so if he's unable to, after some time, come back, and I'm not talking weeks, but, you know, a couple days, so he realizes that we mean business.
Holidays. So we're talking about 2 weeks minimum. So would you consider giving 10,000?
Well, remember, I Zoom, so you can be in Abu Dhabi. I'm still, well, here.
His mom's present, so let me talk to her.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. You were Samuel Torres. Mr. Torres, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. It's elevated to a Class A misdemeanor because of the high blow, so you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On November 14th, 2024, the officers observed the defendant's motor vehicle make a wide right turn at an intersection with a dividing concrete median, accelerate at a high rate of speed from the intersection, failed to maintain a single lane, moving halfway into the center lane before returning to the outside lane, cross over a solid white line into a bike lane before returning to the lane, and the officer observed other cars in the area at the time, rendering the failure to maintain a single lane dangerous to the other motor vehicles. The defendant's motor vehicle stopped at a red light and remained stopped after the light turned green, obstructing traffic, and the officer then initiated a traffic stop once the defendant's motor vehicle finally proceeded through the intersection. The officers had to travel approximately 0.5 miles from the original location as the defendant continued to drive. The officer made contact with the defendant, the driver, and the officer observed bloodshot eyes, an odor of an alcoholic beverage, and the defendant stated he did not immediately pull over because he lives at the apartment complex where the traffic stop was eventually performed and did not want his vehicle towed. The defendant stated he was coming from his sister's house, and the officer observed the defendant using the motor vehicle to regain balance. The defendant stated he had one Long Island liquor drink that he was currently consuming inside the motor vehicle, and the officer found a frozen daiquiri still frozen and half consumed on the passenger side of the floorboard.
He's drinking while driving?
Yes, Judge. And the officers performed standard field sobriety test, HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 7 out of 8, one leg stand 3 out of 4. The defendant was read the DIC and consented to breath. The results were 0.151 and 0.160.
Mr. Torres, do you have a Texas driver license?
Yes, sir, I do.
I'm now taking away your privilege to drive. You are not allowed to drive at all for any reason. And I don't give a rat's behind what your excuse is. If I find that you drive, I can have a contempt hearing. You can be facing up to 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you get into a car and drive. Do you understand?
Yes,
From
sir.
now on, you'll be taking the Dodge Patas. This is an affidavit that you're going to be signing with me today, promising me. And I don't care what your excuse is. If there's a burning building with 50 kittens you have to save, you get into a car and drive, we will have issues. I'm also ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. I will randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, likewise, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds, sir. Any priority to be eyes, Alex? How old are you, sir?
Mid-30.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a mechanic.
How much money do you make a month?
About 24 right now.
Who do you live with?
My wife, my sister, my daughter.
Who else in the house works?
Just me.
Apply for an appointed lawyer, sir. So help me. Any issue, Mr. Torres, if I set your bond $5,000 to $10,000 and you ain't got anyone to pony up that kind of money, you will be stuck like Chuck until this case is over with. Make wise decisions while you're out there, because if you don't, I'm going to keep you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you mind giving me an application, please? have you application for an appointed lawyer. I need you to fill out everything. Don't just put zeros because I'm going to send it right back to you. I'll have you sign a reset with Victoria. You're going to have to meet with Felicia for your bond conditions. Then we'll have you take a seat in the jury box.
Vasquez, Guillermo.
Jaquan Peterson.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Peterson, you're charged with reckless driving. You're facing up to 30 days and or a $500 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On November 14th, 2024, the officer was part of a task force with the main focus being hostile street takeovers and racers. A large group of motor vehicles were meeting at the 11700 East Freeway in a parking lot in Harris County, Texas, when the officer observed the defendant's motor vehicle enter an area of the parking lot and began to spin his...
Si tú hablas, te pongo en la cárcel. Okay, sorry, please.
Would you like me to start from the beginning, Judge?
Please.
Yes, Judge. On November 14th, 2024, the officer was part of a task force with the main focus being hostile street takeovers and racers. A large group of motor vehicles were meeting at the 11700 East Freeway in a parking lot when the officer observed the defendant's motor vehicle enter an area of the parking lot and begin to spin his rear tires with a loud screeching noise. The defendant's motor vehicle did several donuts, losing control of the rear end within 10 to 15 feet of other motor vehicles making up the pit. The officer observed the defendant's motor vehicle complete approximately 2 to 3 donuts, and a traffic stop was initiated. The officer made contact with the defendant, the driver and sole occupant, and the defendant admitting to doing donuts.
Run his NCIC. Does he have any other cases like this by chance?
I'll run his NCIC, Your Honor.
Please. Mr. Pearson, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Can you imagine if you start doing these donuts, you hit and kill someone? Who gets charged with murder? These are things you must consider when you're out there in the free world. You think before you act, think before you speak, because actions may be your last.
And Your Honor, he has no other open cases or criminal history.
Do you have a Texas driver license? Sir. Do you have liability insurance in your name? Sir. Can you run this license, please?
Eligible, Your Honor.
I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to participate in activities like this again. No reckless driving, donuts, street takeovers, racing. If I find that you do, the first thing I'm going to do is take your privilege to drive away from you. And the next thing I will do is I will put you in jail. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
610. The freeways, toll roads, parking lots. This isn't the right way to put. You don't do this over there. And I'm going to tell you now, the Texas legislature has made it extremely easy for DAs across Texas to seize and take cars for individuals who participate in these types of actions. And I've had defendants come here with their cars seized, $50,000 trucks taken because of these types of actions. So be careful out there, because not only can you next time go to jail, but you may lose that very car that you had. Can you follow those conditions, please? No donuts, reckless driving, etc. We are going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I'm going to have you sign a reset with Victoria. After that, we will have you take a seat in the jury box while we get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it, and then you'll be free to go. When you come back, please have a lawyer, sir.
Judge Potter, page 16.
Robert Potter. Mr. Potter, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On November 17th, 2024, at 1:10 a.m. in the morning, officers conducted a traffic stop on the defendant's motor vehicle after observing it traveling at a high rate of speed, 67 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour zone. Upon contact, the officer observed the defendant to be the driver and sole occupant and observed him with slurred speech, strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, and bloodshot, glassy eyes. The defendant admitted to drinking and scored himself as a 5 on a 1 to 10 intoxication scale. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted, HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 7 out of 8, one leg stand 2 out of 4. The officer observed the defendant to be disoriented, drowsy, had slow and sluggish reactions, was uncoordinated, unsteady, as well as disoriented during the tests. An inventory search of the defendant's vehicle revealed a 12-pack of 12-ounce Modelo's in the back seat, as well as a 6-pack of 14-ounce Michelob Ultra with 1 container left. The DICs were read and the defendant consented to breath, the results being 0.097 and 0.099.
Is there any evidence that he's consuming while he's driving?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Potter, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Do you have a valid Texas driver license? Do you have valid liability insurance?
Yes, sir.
In your name?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure? Can you run his license, please? Any priority WIs?
No, Your Honor.
I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond, Mr. Potter, not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or any illegal drugs, unprescribed controlled medication, I will put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
How old are you, sir?
19.
What do you do for a living?
Goal maker. Work. No,
How much money do you make a month? We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I will have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. I'll get you with Felicia for your bond conditions. And after that, you'll be free to go. Be careful. Don't use. I don't care what your excuse is. If I find that you're using, there's a one-way trip. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, man. Come on.
All right, Judge, next is
You said paid 8?
page 8.
Okay. Tatiana Green. Good morning. Ms. Green, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you.
Okay. The complainant and the defendant have been married for 3 years. On November 17, 2024, officers were dispatched to a welfare check at a residence in Harris County, Texas, where the officers met with the complainant, who stated that the defendant and the complainant were having marriage issues due to the defendant cheating. The complainant stated that on November 17th, he observed the complainant laying on the couch he observed the defendant laying on the couch talking to another man on the phone. An argument then ensued. The complainant stated the defendant grabbed a curtain rod and hit him twice on the leg while he was laying in bed. The complainant stated he called 911 because he was worried about safety and needed help. Just before the officers arrived, the defendant bit the complainant's left arm, causing pain. The officer observed the injury on the complainant's arm.
Do we know if he wants to have contact with her?
I'll read the RIF. A RIF was performed, so.
Okay. Ms. Green, it looks like a protective order has been issued in this case. Get to know it. If you violate it, the state will file additional charges against you, a violation of protective order. It's one of the worst cases you can pick up. Until I know that he wants to have contact with you, I'm barring you from having any contact with this person. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. So it appears that the complainant does not want contact and the complainant is moving out in order to make sure no contact.
Okay, do you have a child with this person?
No, sir.
Great. I don't want to talk about the case.
It's not about the case. The apartment that we have together is my apartment, but right now, since I got out, I've been at my grandma's.
So for now, right, this bars you from going to the Westmead place, right? So you need a lawyer to represent you in this case. You need a lawyer to represent you in this case, ma'am. Do you work?
I do work. I just started working. Whenever I was in court
You get a lawyer for the magistration.
I didn't talk to anyone.
Okay. So what kind of money do you make a month?
Nothing right now.
How do you support yourself? Okay. Did you want to apply for a court-appointed lawyer, ma'am?
Yes.
The other option is you can go hire one. What would you like? Okay, actually I have one. So I have an affidavit already filled out. So what we'll do is I'll have you just sign a reset with Victoria. I'll have you sign here the order for protection, and then we'll have you take a seat. Don't leave until you sign our additional bond conditions, and then we'll have you talk to lawyer here momentarily.
Okay.
Okay, please.
It was already signed, Judge.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, we just need to sign the reset, and then we'll have you take a seat. No, come up. Well, no, the deal is that he's moving out, she's moving out.
He is moving out, and he previously told the prosecutor on the case that he has a new place, but I see on the MOAB that it does list the apartment that belongs to the
Got it.
defendant. Yes.
Okay, I want you to go back, but I want to make sure that the person is out first, because I don't want you to go back. He's there and boom, just.
And don't talk about the facts of the case, just talk
No,
about
no,
this
no.
situation. Yeah.
My lease is up on the 7th of December, so I'm okay. I just need to get my personal belongings.
But if he's not living there, Your Honor, I mean,
I just don't know if he's still there.
I can reach out to him.
Do you mind real quick?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, they're gonna try to reach
Sure.
out to him real quick to see if he's still there. If he's not, and he's gone,
He's still there,
until what day?
until December 2nd.
Oh, okay.
is he on the lease too?
No, I mean, he doesn't have to leave. I'm with my grandma. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Sure?
Yes. Yes,
Well, is there also,
I don't want to exclude you from your own home.
there were no contact too?
it's okay because
Yes, Judge. Yes.
Get a no contact because he
Wants a
doesn't,
no contact?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's over. Allegedly.
Till next month?
I don't, know. You never know. Time heals, right?
Okay, so you're for sure not going back there. He's
I haven't
gonna,
been back.
but what about December 2nd when he leaves? Do you need to go back? You said December 2nd he's getting out of there?
Well, he gonna communicate with my mom and my sister. That's how we've been conversing.
So let's do this. I'm gonna have Alex reach out to him. At a minimum, let's see when he's gonna go out. That way you have an idea. He's gone and you can go back because
Can your family go get your stuff if need be?
Yeah, I mean,
probably a lot of
And
stuff.
the reason we're bringing this up is because if you go to that address
I know,
and he calls the cops,
I know.
even if he tells you, invites you,
Mhm.
even if he's gone,
Mhm.
you will get charged
I know.
with a new charge, and I don't want that happening. So if he's out December 2nd is his last day, do you want to come back to court December 3rd? And we can,
I have to remove that residence restriction off. So if you go back, you don't get in trouble.
You don't have to do because I'm about to move. My lease is over.
right, but who's gonna
And-
get your stuff out of it?
But it's because it's only right that he lives the rest there because he paid the rent for this month.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to
I
get
understand.
her to get her stuff out without getting in
I'm
trouble.
gonna get it. My sister will get it for me. They don't-
Okay,
Ms. Green, you've got a great lawyer. If you ever need anything, reach out to Greg.
Yes, sir.
Greg knows how to get a hold of me and we can always work something out.
Yes, sir.
Just the worst possible thing you can do is take matters into your own hands, go over there, or because you'll end up picking up a new charge and then things will really go sideways quick. So just please don't. If you ever have any questions, reach out to Greg, he'll always talk to you and yeah, I mean, we're always here as well.
Okay.
We live here. So
okay, so then just I'll do a regular reset, and if you need something moved up, let me know and I'll get you here.
Okay.
Okay?
okay, all right, man.
All right,
Am I able to leave?
not yet, I'm gonna give you a reset.
Let's get you the reset,
Yeah, just
all the paperwork.
All right, thank you, Judge.
Okay, thanks, Greg. Hannah, do you speak English, sir?
Flores José Antonio.
Acérquese aquí al centro. Solamente mire el juez y le contesta con respeto en español.
Claro que sí.
Florencio Martinez Vázquez Guillermo,
Sí.
Guillermo, yes, solo mire.
charged with driving while intoxicated.
Solo mire el juez, por favor.
You are facing up to 6 months in jail and/or a $2,000 fine.
Puede dormir.
We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney appointed if you cannot afford one, sir.
Todo para usted, si usted no puede pagar por su propio. Solo quédese mirando al juez, por favor.
On November 17th, 2024, the officer conducted a traffic stop after observing the defendant's motor vehicle run a red light. Upon contact with the defendant, who was the driver and sole occupant of the vehicle, the officer observed the defendant with bloodshot eyes and a moderate odor of an alcoholic beverage. The defendant admitted to drinking and advised that he was coming from a party. Standard field sobriety tests were performed. HGN,
Listas
6 out of 6.
horizontales, 6 de 6
Walk and
pistas.
turn,
Camino en
5
giro,
out of 8.
5 de 8 pistas.
One leg stand,
Par
2 out of
de
4.
2 de 4 pistas.
Inventory search of the
Un registro de
vehicle
vehículos
reveals
alrededor,
one
reveló
open 12-ounce bottle of
una
Modelo.
botella de 12 onzas.
Drinking while driving.
Bebiendo al estar manejando.
DICs were read,
Advertencias aplicarias se
and the
leyó.
defendant
Y la
consented to
acusada dio
correct.
consentimiento prevalente.
The results
Los
being
resultados siendo
.122 and .126.
.126.
Mr. Vasquez Guillermo, I'm going to find that there's
Vamos a
probable
hallar que hay
cause
causa
to
razonable para
case.
continuar adelante
Tell
con su
me,
caso.
are you a United States citizen?
Solo mira el juez, por favor.
Are you in this country with or without permission?
O sin permiso.
No, sin permiso.
No, without permission.
What happens if you go to jail?
Si usted va a una cárcel. Acérquese, señor, y no me mire, por favor, solo al juez. ¿Qué pasa si usted va a una cárcel?
No, pues, no sé.
Well, I don't know.
Are you in this country with or without permission?
O sin permiso.
O sea, entré con permiso, me quedé.
I entered with permission, but I stayed, I remained.
If you go to jail
Usted va a una cárcel.
and immigration finds you, Mr. Vasquez, they will put a detainer on you and you will be stuck in custody until this case is over with. And then you will be shipped off to immigration, where you will sit for another 6 to 9 months waiting for immigration to do whatever they're going to do. I would hope that you recognize it's elementary that you're not to have alcohol in the car while you're driving. And it is a minimum of 5 days in jail to any sentence you get if they allege the open container. I will tell you now that immigration sweeps it every single day. So if you spend more than 6 hours in custody, you'll be stuck like Chuck with an immigration detainer. I am now putting conditions on your bond, and if I find that you violate these conditions, you will go to jail in a moment's notice. And I don't care if you're kicking and screaming. Do you understand?
Señor? Sí, señor o no, señor?
Sí, entiendo.
You are not allowed to drive. And you will be signing with me today a promise that you're not going to drive. I don't care what your excuse is. If I find that you drive, to jail you will go. Likewise, I'm ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. You will be randomly tested. If you test positive for alcohol or drugs, likewise, you will go into jail.
De igual manera la va a ir a una cárcel. That's fine, that's fine.
Any priority to BIs?
No, Your Honor.
Ninguno, señor. Solo mire el juez, por favor. Entienda eso.
Sí.
We are going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I will have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. This is an affidavit. I'm going to tell you now, Mr. Vasquez, look at me.
Míreme.
This is the only warning you will get from me. One violation whatsoever. I'm going to keep you with me.
Voy a mantenerlo usted conmigo.
Do you understand?
¿Entendió eso, señor?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
Okay, come up here, swear to us that you're not to drive. We'll get you to Victoria, and then we'll get you with Fleischer for your bond condition.
All right, Judge, next is page 22, White.
Good morning, Ms. White. Ma'am, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Yes, Judge. The complainant and the defendant are married. On November 16th, the officer was dispatched to a residence in Harris County, Texas, in reference to an assault. The officer met with the complainant, who stated the defendant and him had a verbal altercation that began the night prior, due to the defendant thinking the complainant was talking to another woman on the phone. The complainant stated he tried to sleep, but the defendant wouldn't stop arguing. The complainant stated that he slept in a separate bedroom, but the defendant came into the bedroom at 5 a.m. and started yelling at him, accusing him of cheating. The complainant stated he tried to walk out when the defendant struck him with a closed fist right between his eyes, causing him to feel pain and discomfort. The complainant stated he feared for his life and had no other choice but to call 911.
Okay, Ms. White, I'm gonna find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Do we know if he wants to have contact with her?
Let me see if a RIF has been done, Your Honor.
Please.
No RIF has been done, Your Honor.
Okay. I don't know if he wants to have contact with you, so until I know, I'm ordering you not to have contact with this person. A protective order has been issued in this case. I would suggest you get to know it, because if you violate the protective order, the state can and will file additional charges against you, a violation of a protective order, and it's one of the worst cases that you can pick up. Do you understand, man? So you're not to have contact with this person and not to be in possession of any weapons. Do you work, ma'am?
I do.
What do you do for a living?
I'm school bus driver,
What kind of money do you make a month?
$1,000 a month.
Okay, we're gonna reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. I'll have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. After that, we'll just have you take a seat in the jury box, so we'll get your bond convinced, you'll have you sign it, and then you'll be free to go, man. Okay? Please. So no contact, no weapons, please. You were Aaron Durden?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Durden, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
On November 14th, 2024, the officer was on a traffic stop in Harris County, Texas, with emergency lights activated when he heard an engine roaring of a performance motor vehicle and observed the defendant's Lamborghini on the feeder road traveling at least double the speed of moving traffic with a posted speed limit of 45 miles per hour. The officer observed the defendant's motor vehicle swerve in the feeder lanes and enter South Highway at a very high rate of speed without signaling a lane change. The officer terminated his traffic stop and attempted to catch the defendant. The officer observed the defendant's motor vehicle turning into a bar and initiated a traffic stop. The officer approached the motor vehicle and observed the odor of brakes and engine burning from aggressive driving. The officer observed the defendant to be the operator of the motor vehicle sitting behind the wheel and observed a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage and watery eyes. The defendant stated he was coming from Captain Tom's and standard field sobriety tests were started. The defendant then complained he had poor balance, and the defendant fumbled through his wallet trying to find his Texas driver's license and stalled when answering where he was coming from. The defendant was searched and the officer found a receipt from a bar in the defendant's short pocket. And HEN eventually was conducted, finding 6 out of 6 clues. Walk and turn and one leg stand were refused. The D was read the DIC, but refused blood. A search warrant was obtained and executed.
All right, Mr. Durden, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to drive any vehicle that doesn't have an ignition interlock on it. That is a blow and go that you put on your car to make sure that you don't have alcohol when you get into a car. If I find that you drive a car that doesn't have one, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, Judge.
I'm also ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and I will randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, likewise, you will go to jail. No more PR bonds for you, sir.
Yes, Judge.
Understand that we send notice to DPS in Austin so that any and all officers know if you get pulled over, you're to be driving a vehicle that has an interlock. And if you drive one that doesn't, they will immediately take you to jail. So beware that the all-seeing eye knows. You understand?
Yes, Judge.
We're going to give you time to hire lawyers. So I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. You will then get with Felicia for your bond conditions, and after that, you'll be free to go. All right?
Judge.
Okay. Please. Hi, Billy.
What did you say?
Jose Antonio Guzman Flores. So you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
The complainant and the defendant are in a dating relationship. On November 16th, 2024, the officer was dispatched to a residence in reference to a disturbance. The officer made contact with the complainant, who stated she and the defendant began to argue when she discovered the defendant gave her an STD. The argument began as verbal. The complainant wanted to leave, and the defendant grabbed the complainant's wrist and began to pull her. The defendant then grabbed the complainant's purse, which was wrapped around her waist, and then began to pull her hair. The complainant and the defendant separated when officers arrived. The defendant stated he did not put his hand on the complainant by grabbing her wrist, and pulling her because he wanted her to calm down. The officer observed an injury to the complainant matching her statement.
So you said pull the hair? Is that what you said?
He pulled her hair, yes, Your Honor.
And did you say that it hurt?
The complainant did state that she felt pain.
All right. Okay, Mr. Flores, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Do we know if she wants to have contact with him? Yay or nay?
A rip was performed, and let me see real quick.
Take your time. No rush. I don't see. All right, so
It does not appear she wants contact with the defendant, Your Honor.
no,
No
All right,
contact.
so, and I'm entering in what's called a magistrate's order for emergency protection. This is a court order that identifies Ms. Robles as a protected individual. You cannot commit family violence or an assault against this person. Commit an act in furtherance of an offense under section 42.072 of the Texas Penal Code, which is the stalking statute. You cannot threaten, harass, use another person to communicate a threat or harassing behavior. You cannot be in possession of a weapon or go within 200 feet of where she lives or where she works. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If you violate this court order, the state can and will file additional cases against you, a violation of a protective order, and it's one of the worst misdemeanor cases you can pick up. So just stay away. Don't have contact with her. If she texts you, don't reply. If she calls you from an unknown number, hang up the phone. Just don't have any contact and everything will be fine. How old are you, sir?
22.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a technician right now.
And what kind of money do you make a month?
Sorry?
How much money do you make a month?
3,500 a month
And who do you live with?
with my mom.
We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I'm going to have you come up here. We'll have you sign for the order for protection. I'll have you sign a reset with Victoria. We're going to get you out of here to hire a lawyer. After that, I'll have you take a seat while we get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it. And after that, you'll be free to go. Okay? Come on. If you can file no contact and no weapons.
Green.
Today's docket ran nearly 2 hours and touched almost every corner of what this courthouse deals with on a regular Friday morning. A woman pleaded guilty to her first DWI and walked out with 3 days, credit for 1 served, a 180-day license suspension, and a portable interlock device because her car is not drivable and the in-car version cannot be installed. The judge waived the $3,000 DPS surcharge and told her plainly, if you want to get lit, just don't get in a car. $20, 1 button, anywhere you want to go. And then he said, next time it is $7,000 and you are walking out. There is no next slap on the wrist. A woman on bond for a second DW. I had never obtained the interlock device she was ordered to get. She said the car is not drivable. She said she did not know she was supposed to report to pretrial services. The judge said, they emailed you, called you, texted you, nothing. You have done absolutely nothing. She went into custody. The bond was revoked on the spot. A 30-year-old woman with cancer, a hole in her heart, a deteriorating spine, bilateral kidney issues, asthma, and no income was charged with interfering with a public servant after refusing to leave a housing facility and bracing her legs against a police car to resist detention. She told the judge her housing contract was being terminated. She said she had every right to be there. She said she has paperwork. The judge told her, I cannot give you legal advice. Be nice. Talk to a lawyer. You get more with honey. He gave her a lawyer and ordered her not to go back. She asked, if I am forced onto the streets, what am I supposed to do? Nobody in that room had a clean answer. A daughter threw a baby bottle at her mother, hitting her in the cheek, because the mother said she was not taking care of her children. The defendant admitted it. The judge entered an emergency protective order, told her to have no contact, and gave her time to hire a lawyer. A man whose girlfriend discovered he had given her an STD, an argument that began verbally and escalated to him grabbing her wrist, pulling her purse from around her waist, and pulling her hair, denied putting his hands on her by saying he was only trying to calm her down. The officer observed injuries. The judge found probable cause, issued a protective order, and told him clearly, if she texts you from an unknown number, hang up. If she calls, don't answer. 0 contact. Everything will be fine if you just stay away. A man charged with his second DW. I was found asleep at the wheel in a travel lane at night. And when officers woke him, he allowed his car to roll forward and hit the police vehicle, then backward into the second one. He said, "Oh yeah," over and over. He had consumed a 12-pack after work. He did not know what time he stopped. The judge ordered him not to use, set random testing, and told him, "If you have a problem with alcohol, now is the opportunity to address it. If you don't, I will address it for you, and I promise you will not like the way that I do it." And a man on his second DW, I faced a judge who told him, DWI is big business, $3,000 the first time, $6,000 the second. Every $100 you do not pay is a day in jail. I am waiving it now. Next time you are walking out with $7,000 on your back. He sent him away clean, no fees, suspended license, portable device. He said, "Good luck, man." He always means it. This courthouse does not just process paperwork. Today it processed a woman with cancer who has nowhere to go, a daughter who threw a baby bottle at her mother, a man who woke up in a travel lane and hit 2 police cars, and a second DWI defendant who got every break the law allows and was told clearly that the well is now dry. We will see you in the next one.